Glad to know you stay with us. The federal government of Nigeria has assured Nigerians that despite the persisting fuel queues in the nation's capital, it is still subsidizing petrol prices. This was disclosed by Timi Silva, Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, on Monday in Abuja. Speaking at the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority (NMDPRA) stakeholders consultation forum on regulations to review the midstream and downstream petroleum activities in the industry, the minister stated that the increase in pump price by marketers from 165 naira per litre to 169 naira, 184 naira, and 280 naira per litre in Abuja and other states is not government sanctioned. The minister added that if there is an increase in price, it is not from the government. But as the story, and for further analysis, Mr. Dele Tajuddin Lamidi, the Zonal Chairman, Ipman, Western Zone, joins me via the telephone. Hello, thank you for joining us.
Hello?
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good morning.
All right, so talk to us about the major constraints in the oil and gas sector around the new pump price across the nation.
Yes, good morning, Nigerians. I also read from the newspaper yesterday the statement by the Honorable Minister of Petroleum saying that the government has not increased the price of petroleum, especially CMS, from 165 naira per litre. With all due respect to him, I think the system is in a state of confusion. Because, let me cite an instance. NMCC retail, that is NMCC filling stations across the country, they are integral part of NMCC and is being owned by government. As of today, in Lagos State, their official price is 169 liters per litre. If you move to Ogun State, it is about 179 naira per litre, or your State, something like that. And in Abuja, 165 naira per litre. So, how possible is that for them to deny that they have not increased the price of petroleum product from 165?
If I get you correctly now, you are saying that the federal government is aware of this increase, or that the federal government sanctioned the increase. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, yes, that's correct. Because if not, there are regulatory agencies. They should have clamped down on people if it is not approved. So, and the NMCC retail I'm talking about, they are born with silver spoon in their mouth because they have access to everything in terms of product availability, in terms of they are also in government, the government agencies are there. So, and we that we are independent marketer, we are just like an orphan in the industry because we don't get much from NMCC, and we are left with no other option to buy from private depot at the cost of 167 naira per litre. I stand to be corrected. It is in the public domain what is said to us, and if you buy at 167 and you transport with about 7 naira to your filling station, that is if you are within Lagos. If you are going to places like Ilorin, up north, Ekiti and the rest, the cost of transportation is over and above 10 naira per litre.
All right, I get you correctly. Marketers have on several occasions tried to justify this increase. They talk about the bridging gap, which is what you are already referring to. And they talk about other circumstances that they even talked about the pricing template, which they say is obsolete and needs to be, let's say, changed so that it reflects the current realities of the nation. That's taken. But let's get on this particular one now. if the federal government, because you have said that the federal government is aware and probably has sanctioned it, because if they haven't sanctioned it, then they should be out there arresting or making some moves to probably seal up filling stations that are defaulting and all of that. That's on the one hand. But then on the other hand, if the federal government actually sanctioned this increase in price, does that mean that we are beginning to achieve some level of deregulation?
Correct. I think we are testing water on the regulation. That is what it means.
Okay. So if this is the regulation, but then why isn't the federal government talking to Nigerians? Why isn't the federal government telling Nigerians what the real issue is? Because, I mean, you're saying that they are aware, but they are saying they're not aware. So why are we having this? And I want to believe this is some of the reasons why a lot of the times when the federal government announces some policies, Nigerians are skeptical.
No, I think the federal government is not being sincere. They are not being sincere about this issue because nobody paid to make laws. And like I've cited an example of NNPC retail filling stations. You can do your investigation across the country. As of today in Lagos, they sell at 169 naira per litre in their filling stations. And of course, in Lagos, anywhere, if you move to Mowe, it is 179. When you get to somewhere like Ibadan, Abuja, it's 185. So, and that is type of this thing we are talking about. Because once the product is regulated, the price you get in Lagos is going to be different from what you get in Ibadan, what you get in other places, like you can see in this now. So I think government has not really been sincere to come out so far that this is what we are doing. But I think we are a step further to the regulation.
All right, let's.
If government doesn't the truth, but we cannot lie to market.
Okay. Now I remember. I think it was.
You can do your investigation across the country. What we buy as independent marketer from private depot is at 166, 167. So how do we expect us to sell at 166? This we have put before government, and they have not found a solution to it.
Point noted.
So, and if government filling stations are selling at above that price, then the government is aware.
All right. Thank you for that.
Government is fully aware.
All right, let me come in here. I remember 2 weeks ago, there was this news just before the announcement was made about the increase in price. There was this news that there was a meeting between NMDPRA and marketers, and to a very large extent, all the parties involved denied this particular news. Help us, know what exactly happened. Was there actually a meeting between NMDPRA and the marketers?
Yes, there was a meeting.
So why do we have denial on both sides?
There was a meeting between marketers and all the other stakeholders with NMPC, and they agreed and they returned on the price, a particular price. That's why you see that everybody changed their prices to that what was agreed upon. If you go to any total filling station now, you will see what they are selling. Go to mobile station, so everybody cannot be wrong.
It's all right. Let's move on this particular conversation. Now, we have news that federal government has estimated petrol subsidy payment at about 6.72 trillion naira for full year 2023. The question is, do we have the luxury to continue to expend this huge sum on subsidy?
I don't know why federal government has not been able to take the bull by the horn to deregulate once and for all, maybe for political reasons. Otherwise, even developed countries all over the world, talk of US, UK, Canada, and the rest, they go along with the current prices of what matters. If you go to UK now, it's about £2 per litre. Maybe 1.9 something per litre. So every other country, I don't know why government is doing that, and I'm very, very sure that they cannot sustain it. They are just people days.
All right, now that you seem to be in support of subsidy, tell us what are the economic impacts that this removal of subsidy will have on Nigerian economy? What are the impacts, rather?
Well, this borders on sincerity. Because if subsidy is removed, which means government will have more money, that is, the money we spent on subsidy will be available and it should be used for other infrastructures. If paying higher on petroleum, on buy petroleum products, then I should be able to get free healthcare or free education.
All right, this has been, let me come in here, please. This has been the argument of many people that we have other sectors or subsectors that have been deregulated, and we can't say for sure what the impact has been. So how are we sure that removing subsidy on PMS will give us these returns that you have talked about? And, you know, away from that, there are also those who are saying we can't talk about subsidy when we haven't addressed other issues like refineries, having our refineries working at maximum capacity. What are your thoughts?
Yes, over time, we have complained about this, and everybody is concerned about the refineries. Like you know that we have 4 refineries in Nigeria. We have 3 in Port Harcourt, 1 in Warri, and 1 in Kaduna. Over time, a lot of money has been spent on these refineries, and the turnaround maintenance has not yielded any positive results. So the issue of deregulation, removal of subsidy and the rest, I think there is trust deficit on the part of government. So because why people are advocating that the subsidy must not be removed is that when they remove the subsidy, nobody is sure of whether the money will be deployed to other infrastructures. So there is trust deficit. That's what people are claiming. Otherwise, if we are sure that the subsidy is removed and the money will be deployed into other infrastructures, of course, people will embrace it. But there's no two way about it that we just have to remove it because government cannot sustain it. Like I said, they are just postponing the evil days.
All right, should subsidy be removed? Aren't you concerned about the impact on the average Nigerian, knowing that the economy rests solely on, you know, maybe not solely, but of course to a very large extent, productivity is dependent on energy?
Well, I am concerned too because as a citizen of this country, of course, but you know that no pain, no gain. No pain, no gain. But like we said, the impact will be if subsidy is removed and you can walk into any hospital and have your safety check without payment, or you can put your children in school without, maybe from primary school to secondary school, you are sure of free education, you are sure of electricity and the rest. So that will further pushing the effect of the removal of subsidy. But like I said, is that trust deficit that everybody is afraid of. That even they remove, will they deploy the money to other infrastructures? Of course, it's going to have an impact. Because once there is the removal of subsidy, all other things will go up. You know the effect of price of petroleum products on all other products. Even farm products, you will have them increased. Yes, there's going to be impact. But we can also push in the effect from somewhere else.
All right, now let me come in here. You have said something I think is very important. You mentioned cushioning the effect. So what should federal government do if the federal government were to go on ahead and regulate this sector? So what sort of cushioning effects do you look forward to?
I think the government will come out and assure the masses of wealth in the area of transportation, because transportation is very key to the economy. Farmers from their farm have to move the product to the urban city. Of course, people move every day from one place to the other. The issue of electricity is there. It's affecting both businesses and homes. can no longer afford the price of electricity, and even the electricity is not even available. So because of this is having impact on people. Health sector is there. People are not enjoying the kind of treatment that they're supposed to get. The education sectors are there. So if they can come up with a very good policy, and that with every assurance to the masses, I think people will embrace subsidy. Because you win some, you win some, you lose some. You can't win everything.
And I thank you for your thoughts. And in wrapping up, what do you think will be the appropriate solution to the challenges in this sector? I mean, from your own opinion, rather.
No, come again, I can't hear you well.
But I was saying, in your opinion, how can we solve the crisis we are having in this sector? In wrapping up, basically.
Well, I've said it all that sincerity of purpose is very key in this situation. One, masses will understand that the issue of subsidy, because we can compare the price of products from all over, even from our neighboring countries, that Nigeria product is the cheapest. And it's so painful that we are in a country that is blessed with this oil we are talking about, and we are unable to manage it well. So the management, that's why you see masses are not happy with government on issue of subsidy. Because in the first instance, are we supposed to be importing products? You have to answer that question. You have 4 refineries, all of them are working, are not working. So I think it is the government that we have to blame for it. But however, the solution must be proper. So I want to implore government to do everything humanly possible, at least to fix all these refineries. If these refineries are fixed, it will be, because the cost of importing products from other countries, even the pressure on our naira is even there when you import. You know the effect of importation of products, you know what the effect it has on our economy. So I think I want to appeal to the government that over times we have Minister of Petroleum, the President is the Minister, we have the Junior Minister. Nothing has been done about this matter. It's even somehow for us to be importing products since all the time. So I think if they fix the refinery, the impact will be a little bit better, and the product will be available. The price will not be as much as what we are thinking about if they can fix the refinery. But I can't believe that for over 20-30 years, the refineries in Nigeria have not been working.
All right, thank you so much.
Above all, I implore government to fix the refineries. If they have to remove the subsidy, let them be sincere to the masses, and let them deploy the proceeds on other infrastructures to pushing the effect, so that when you lose one, you gain one.
All right, thank you. I think this is a good place to leave it. Thank you for your thoughts.
Yeah, thank you very much.